Hello BookTube, I'm Jonathan, and welcome to my Hugo Award TBR voting results. I picked out 10 of the Hugo Award winners that I haven't read yet and asked you guys to vote on the 3 that I should pick up. And here are the results. In 10th place, with 1 vote, we have Where Late the Sweet Bird Sang by Kate Wilhelm. Now, if I were to guess why this didn't receive too many votes, I would say it appears to be one of the lesser read books on the list, and perhaps also because it seems like it's a little dark. It is a post-Holocaust story, although it does have some interesting sci-fi concepts like cloning and hive minds, so I will get around to this one eventually because it does sound quite interesting. Let me know in the comments if you've read this one because I haven't seen too much talk about it, but for now, 10th place. In 9th place, with 2 votes, we have Stand on Zanzibar by John Brunner. Now, I actually expected this one to do quite well because I've seen almost nothing but good things about this book online. So when I saw it only had a couple of votes, I thought perhaps I didn't do a good enough job of explaining exactly what this book is about. So I did a little bit more research and it only became more difficult to discern what this book is actually about. It seems pretty psychedelic, seems pretty out there, the structure seems rather unique, so let me know in the comments if you've read Stands on Zanzibar. I will get around to it eventually, but it's going to be lower down on the list because you guys voted it in 9th place. In 8th place, with 4 votes, we have Stranger in a Strange Land by Robert Heinlein. Heinlein, definitely one of the most famous authors on the list. A number of you either voted for Stranger in a Strange Land or actually suggested another Heinlein book. So it seems like, as a very prolific writer, he might have some books that don't work for you, but there could be another one that is good for you to start with. So Stranger in a Strange Land, possibly his most iconic book, one that I should definitely get around to eventually, but for now, it only finished in 8th. In 7th place, with 5 votes, we have To Your Scattered Bodies Go by Philip Jose Farmer. Now, this is another one that I expected to come a little bit higher on the list because the cover is pretty awesome and the premise for the book is kind of a crazy adventure. We have people waking up naked, floating down a river, trying to figure out how did we get here and where does this river go? So this is one that I'm intrigued to read. A few of you guys voted for it. Maybe it was too out there. Maybe the pitch is a little bit silly, a little bit crazy. Let me know your thoughts in the comments for To Your Scattered Bodies Go by Philip Jose Farmer. In 6th place, with 6 votes, we have Startide Rising by David Brin. Now, this book to me sounds like quintessential sci-fi. We have different planets with different species that have been uplifted into consciousness by higher functioning species, with a bit of a mystery of who uplifted humans. So I'm totally into this story. I really want to learn more about these intelligent dolphins, or at least that's what they look to be on the cover. And it's a long-running series, so it sounds like if you enjoy this universe, it's something that you can really get into. That's probably why some of you guys voted for it. It seemed quite popular. And a couple of you told me that you can skip the first book, Sundiver. That one seems to be not as popular, but Startide Rising seems to be very highly rated and recommended. So let me know your thoughts on the series, one that I'm excited to get into eventually, but it's going to have to wait for the next few books you're about to hear about. In 5th place, with 7 votes, we have The Gods Themselves by Isaac Asimov. Now, Asimov, another classic writer on this list, very prolific, known of course for his Foundation series as well as I, Robot and others. I think Asimov is probably an author that many of us are familiar with, but we may not have read The Gods Themselves. I haven't read it yet, although I did enjoy Foundation, so this is one that I need to get around to eventually, along with many of his other works. So that will make it onto the TBR, but it's going to have to wait a while because it finished behind 4 others as voted by you. Moving on to the top 4, and these were definitely the most popular books on the list, as you'll see there's a bit of a gap between number 5 and the top 4, and we don't actually have a 4th place because we have a tie for 3rd. Tied for 3rd, we have The Demolished Man by Alfred Bester and Waystation by Clifford D. Seamack. So I said I would buy the top 3 books. You guys made me buy 4 books. I'm not going to complain. The more sci-fi books, the better. So, starting with The Demolished Man. I can see why this one got a lot of votes. I love the premise for this one. In a world in which the police have telekinetic powers, how does one get away with murder? So, This seems very concept-driven, very futuristic classic sci-fi. I love that idea. It sounds like there's going to be a bit of an action-adventure story in there as well. It's quite short, which I like. I should be able to get through that quite quickly, and very much looking forward to that one. So let me know if you've read The Demolished Man. I've read The Star's My Destination by Alfred Bester, and definitely enjoyed that one. There were some cool concepts like jaunting, so I'm excited to see what he includes in The Demolished Man. So tied, and I forgot to mention how many votes I think they got. 11 votes, tied in third place with 11 votes. We also have Waystation. Waystation by Clifford D. Seamack, and this one also has a great premise. I like the kind of combination of things. We have a man that lives on a farm, and so it seems like quite a quiet, remote setting, and yet on that farm is a portal which aliens use to travel, I believe. So he develops a relationship with these aliens. I'm sure there's lots at stake. I'm sure the universe is at stake, probably, through this portal on this quiet little farm. So, heard great things about this one. You guys recommended both of these. These are going on the TBR. I'll be reading these before the end of the year. The Demolished Man and Waystation. So we're down to the final two books, and guess what? It's another tie. Tied in first place with 12 votes, we have The Snow Queen by Joan D. Vinci and The City and the City by China Miéville. I've got to be honest, guys, I didn't expect either of these two to be at the top, and they tied in first place. I can see why The Snow Queen is popular for its cover. That is just an absolutely beautiful cover. Love the cover design. I think it's by Michael Whelan. But I haven't really heard a lot of people talking about this book online. So I'm glad you guys either liked it or found the premise intriguing. It's kind of a sci-fi retelling of the classic Snow Queen fairy tale. So very interested to see what Joan D. Vinci, former husband of Vernor Vinci, two Hugo Award winning authors in that household at one point. Very excited to see what she does with that story. I've heard it's beautifully written, very philosophical, and one of the thicker books that won, but that's okay. I'm sure there's a lot to dive into. I'm sure people love it for a reason. And then we also have The City and the City by China Miéville. Now, I haven't heard this one talked about that much either, although this one is kind of, I think, borderline sci-fi. It's a fantasy, modern, contemporary meet sci-fi. So we'll see. I've been tricked into reading non-sci-fi before. We've experienced mixed results with that, but you guys seem very high on this one. A lot of people recommending it. Fairly short read, should get through that one fairly quickly, and this shows that you guys have a good interest in a range of decades and periods and styles of sci-fi, because of the winners we have the oldest book on the list, from the winner from 1953, The Demolished Man, with the winner of the newest Hugo Award on the list from 2010, The City and the City. So thanks so much to everyone who voted. I'm really excited to get into all of these. I will be reading them later in the year, and I'll keep you updated on my TBR schedule. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, leave a comment below and let me know which of these books you're most excited about. And be sure to like and subscribe for more sci-fi content over here.